So this is the time when I'm just like nervous and I don't know what I'm gonna say. And you can feel the energy of like 300 eighth graders. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's not funny. Stop.
Like they're already making fun of things.
But I expect you guys to show him a tremendous amount of respect, and I hope you get something out of this.
Cool, thank you. Me and Mr. Villanova actually had a sleepover in 8th grade. That's how well I know him. That's right. That's messed up. I heard that. That's messed up. So anyway. I actually had a teacher in high school. I had her for like 3 years in English. She's one of the most important people in my life because she was a good person who cared about her students. And I'm telling you that because I feel very lucky to have known her. Mr. Villanova is an amazing person. That's why we've stayed in touch, and that's why we're good friends. So really the credit goes back to him. Just know that you have an amazing person and leader and somebody that you can go to and probably talk about anything. And his wisdom and his brain are very valuable. So use that while you can. So thank you for that intro. All right, so I put up this slide on here because I'm sure, I don't know if you guys heard about me. I don't know if the 7th graders talked about me. Did you guys hear anything? I was here a month ago. The 7th graders say anything? You guys don't talk to 7th graders. No, they're like not cool enough for you? Hey, welcome. Just going to call out every person that walks in late. I start out with who am I, because maybe you're wondering. So some of these things I do on a daily basis. Some of these things I'm aspiring to do. But this is like what I do for a living. I run a film company called Good For You Productions with Natalie every day. I do stand-up comedy. I was just in the city last night practicing new stuff, getting told that I wasn't funny. It's part of the process. You got to work on a lot of bad stuff to get to the good stuff. Maybe there's a life lesson in there. Humanitarian trips I'll do. I'm going to show you guys some videos of when I traveled to Africa, I think is the one that I have. And then when I say I'm a YouTuber and a podcaster, like I have like 45 subscribers, so working on that. Don't laugh too much. Yeah, it's a start. Okay, so let me speak on this for a little bit. Okay, so Natalie, I might ask you to hit a button or two sometimes. Take this as, it's cooler when I'm up here, right? So this is a personal quote of mine because Natalie and I were actually talking about this on the way here. And you can really measure a person by the fruits that they bear. Meaning, when you look at a successful person and they have things, they did a lot of work before that and they were good at something that they did, and that enabled them to get this stuff. So you are what you do, meaning if you do good deeds, you are a good person. If you do something bad, maybe you're just a bad person in that moment. So you are what you do. So I try to do good things for people. Does anybody here do good things for other people? Show of hands. Have you guys done anything good for somebody today? It's just a show of hands. You don't need to talk. So I'm gonna talk about why that might be important to you, to do good things for other people. We'll get into that later. But I'm not gonna lie. Right now, my life is pretty awesome. I'm in a really happy place. Not gonna lie. Thank you. But. So I'm 36 years old. just turned 36 last month. Well, I don't know if that gets an applause, but I'll take it. But what I want you to understand, and I'll talk about some stories in my past a little bit. I also want you to understand where I've come from a little bit. So I told you that I own a film company. When I graduated college, I didn't have that company. I couldn't find work. Doing a lot of internships. Internships, you work for free and you get experience. But so I didn't know what to do. So I decided to make a video about my dog. This video is not that good, but it's kind of funny. But so I'm going to show you a video about my dog, and it's called, does anybody have a dog? Show of hands. So, real quick, just to say, all right, you got, listen, show of hands just means that. So you don't have to talk every time show of hands. But, so, if anybody has ever taken their dog out for a walk, like sometimes your dog wants to go outside, and you think it needs to like do its thing, and then it goes outside, it doesn't do anything, and then you stand out there and you're like, can you just go to the bathroom already? You know what I'm talking about? So I made this video called Time for Pee-Pee.
Go out there, get the heck out there.
What's over here?
Go pee-pee.
What's over here? Sniff, 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 sniff. I'm sniffing. Sniff, 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 sniff. I'm playing sniff, sniff, sniff. They're stupid. What happened? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Jeffy's gone. Jeffy's, what's right there? What's there? I'm not gonna do any pee-pee. Oh no, what's over there? No pee-pee. I don't gotta go pee-pee. No pee-pee. No pee-pee. I don't see anything over here, over there. I'm looking. Nothing. Sniff, 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 sniff. I'm sniffing. I'm a sniff, 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 sniff. I'm playing one. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Play stupid. Sniff, sniff. Gonna hide over here. Oh, let me go over here. What a life, I got the life, do a little trick on Jeffy, think I gotta go pee-pee, just lay down over here, play a little stupid, just sitting out here all day, this is stupid, is he coming or what? What? I wasn't doing nothing, I wasn't doing anything, I was just sitting right here, I wasn't doing nothing. Yay!
So after college, I was sending that as like my resume to people for a job. Guess how many jobs I got offered after that video? 0. but it did get like 740 views on YouTube. That was like when YouTube first came out. No applause for that. Yeah, so I love that dog. That was Zoe. I put Zoe down a year ago. She died at like 17. Love that dog. But I show you that because you're going to go into something that you want to do that you're not good at. And it's going to take you time and practice to get good at that. So the quick advice is whatever you're going to go into, because I know you're in 8th grade, people are starting to tell you to think about high school, you're selecting classes. Once you're in high school, people are going to start telling you to think about college, and all of a sudden, a lot of people are going to be asking you, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing? What are you going to do? You're going to, this is going to be a thing. So I was not good, day one. That was, I think that was 2009, no, I graduated college 2006, so that was like 2007, 2008, 10, 11 years ago. I want to show you where we're at now. It's a lot of practice, a lot of time. All right, so this talk is going to be about mind, body, soul, about life, about courage, comfort zone, all of these things that I hope that they teach you in school, but I don't know if they do. So I'm going to try to go fast because with the 7th graders, I didn't get to everything I wanted to, and I actually wanted to take questions. So I'm going to zip through some of this stuff so maybe we can just talk. You guys can ask me questions for like the last 10 minutes. That's what I'm going to try. So the reason I put up this, so one of the things I do is I'm also a health coach, and I'm going to show you a picture where I lost about 65 pounds. No easy task. A lot of this stuff happens in the mind first before it happens in the body. But I talk to people about this every day, and they get to grade themselves. They grade themselves on how they feel with their body and how they feel with their mind. So there's very specific things on here, but I'm not asking you to do that. I'm not asking you to grade your weight status and your eating habits, but overall, and you don't have to talk about it to anybody, this is just for you, on a scale of 1 to 10, grade how you feel about your body. On a scale of 1 to 10 in your mind, grade how you feel about your mind. What are your thoughts like? Do you have normally good thoughts or bad thoughts? You know? Are you worried? Are you anxious all the time? So this is not to share with anybody, but it's important just to know where you are because you want to know where you're going. I talk about success because, you know, I joke that I have 45 subscribers and you guys give me a nice little, we call that like a Bronx cheer, like, hey, yeah, good job, whatever. Define your own success because I don't need to have 2 million subscribers to view my YouTube as a success. Because if I just get one person who says thank you, because I talk like this on some of my YouTube stuff, on just daily, this is what I'm talking to people about. I want to elevate their lives because I've had some bad stuff happen to me, and it really took a lot of courage and a lot of like self-analysis to pull myself out of there. And I needed mentors and everything else. So this is how I define success. Because there's a guy, Ralph Waldo Emerson, he's one of my favorite authors. This is how he defines success. So it's very different. It's not about money, it's not about subscribers, or what kind of job. But there's one line in particular that I like. To know even one life has breathed. So I'm getting a little choked up because I'm thinking about some stuff. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. I mean, that to me means so much. Like, Natalie and I work together side by side every day. It's really hard to get into the film world. If anybody's thinking about going into film, it's tough. Nobody's handing you a job in the film world. Nobody looks at your resume. They don't care what college you went to. They want to show me something. So that's why I made the video about my dog, because they were like, show me what you can do. Here's what I can do. Nope, can't have this job. So I made my own thing. But I'm so glad that Natalie and I make each other's lives easier. That means so much to me. I have a girlfriend, she has 2 kids. I don't necessarily want to make their life easier, but I just want to help them in any way I can. I want to show them how much I love them. That is successful to me. To be a positive role model for them defines my success. It doesn't matter if we put out a job offer and somebody says no. Because if those kids still know that I love them, that's all that matters to me. You're going to learn some of this, unfortunately, through life. Okay, so this was a great study that I'm going to show you. It's called the marshmallow test. Basically what happens is you can get it's a good indicator. Sorry, I just felt the wire fall down. Am my audio still good, Caleb? I'm good? A good indicator if you're going to be successful in life, no matter what you do, is through this marshmallow test. So they took kids about your age, put them in a room for 10 minutes with the marshmallow on a plate. And they said to these kids, if you can wait 10 minutes, I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you another marshmallow. Do you think you could wait 10 minutes? Yes. So you do? How many kids do you think waited? Not too many. But this idea ended up being called delayed gratification. If you can do the work, so I always compare this to, because I think it's starting to lose its luster, but Fortnite, is it still big or is it starting to go down? So if you can do your homework, get everything done, take out the trash, whatever else you have to do at home, and then play Fortnite, that would be a concept of delayed gratification. If you can't delay gratification before you experience pleasure, life is going to be harder for you because there's going to be a lot of times in life where you have to wait and you have to do the work before you get the glory. But I want to show you this quick video because this is just funny.
The famous Stanford Marshmallow Experiment tests children's self-control. You have a choice. You can eat it now, totally cool, or if you can wait till I get back, I'll give you a second marshmallow.
I can do it.
You can wait 10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, by the way, if you want, you can use that cup to cover it up so you don't have to look at it. Good luck.
Okay.
Researchers showed that by putting a marshmallow in front of a kid and daring him not to eat it, you could tell if one day they'd be the next Steve Jobs or the next Steve Gutenberg.
Oh.
Now, in the original experiment, they just waited to see what happened, but I don't have the patience for that. All right. Oh, you ate it. That's okay.
I didn't eat it. I lifted the cup and it was gone.
How'd you do?
Good.
Was it good?
Yeah. After I slipped the cup, it just disappeared.
What disappeared?
The marshmallow.
Would you like another one?
Yeah, it just disappeared.
Oh, buddy, here. You want to eat this one? It's okay. Here, eat this one. You can eat this one. It disappeared like magic?
Yeah.
Well, eat this one. Tell me how it tastes.
Good.
Is it good? Well, we made a kid cry, so I'd say phase 1 was a success.
So I just showed you guys, that obviously is a magician. He does these like social experiments with a twist. But so, you know, I explained the experiment, but then that's just funny. It's messed up to do to kids, but it's also funny. All right, so real quick on this. Where are you right now? How are your grades? How are you doing in sports? Whatever it is. But here's the thing. I want you to define how your life is successful or not. Don't let societal benchmarks decide that for you. You decide it. What's going to mean the most to you? And we'll talk about meaning and purpose and things like that. But so where are you now? So think about some things that you want. How close are you to getting them? And what can you do different? Where do you want to go? What do you want out of this life? Okay. This is big. And I just saw, we do commercials sometimes. So we know that if we make somebody feel something in a video, that we can increase the chance of making a sale. It's what advertisers do all the time. Advertisers don't sell you a product. They sell you a feeling. And you either say, I want that feeling, or I don't. It was just a Coca-Cola truck drove by the other day. And on the side of the truck, it said, taste the feeling. Watch, from now on, when you watch commercials and stuff, watch how much they actually use the product. Like something like a food or a beverage. Are they selling how good the Coca-Cola tastes? McDonald's, they don't sell necessarily how good the burger is, but you look, they show beautiful people on certain standards, beautiful people, happy, life is great. They are selling a paradise, and they're trying to convince you if you have that burger, you will also have paradise. The reason why they do that is because how you think is how you feel, which is how you act. It makes sense on a general level, right? So if I feel lousy, the chances are I won't act on something that I want. Like think about when you did something and you were motivated to do something, you got all amped up about it, and then you went out and did it. How many times have you done something that you really wanted to do when you were like, it's not going to work? So you can actually trick yourself. You can change the way you think. And that's through repetition. That's something that I can talk about later. But for you, change the way you think, you're going to change the way you feel, and you're going to change what you do on a day-to-day basis. Okay, the mind. So this is what I talk about, doing things good for other people. Because it is nearly impossible to be in a bad mood when you're doing something nice for somebody else. It feels so good to do something for somebody else. Trick question. Is it better to give or to receive? Telling you it's a trick question. And you still say give. Just told you it was a trick question. Can you give somebody to something and they don't receive it? Is it still a gift? Let's say you want to do something really nice for somebody. You're like, they're going to love this. And then you go to give it to them and they're like, So both are equally important. And the reason I say this is not because I want you to give a lot, but I also want you to feel that you can receive what you're worth. You know, in business, a lot of the times I see other business owners, they are afraid of charging what they are really worth because they don't even value themselves. They won't even give the chance to receive. You know, even in our business, you know, people tell us like rates of what they charge. They don't even believe it. And then I talk them down. You can negotiate with somebody if they don't value themselves. So as much as I want you to go out there and give and do stuff for other people, I also want you to be prepared to receive good things your way. If you deny good things to yourself, you know how that turns out. So this is a video. This is in Africa. Basically what happened, this woman, Susan, who was very poor, average salary or day wage in Africa, where I was in Kenya, is between $2 and $5 a day. So when they have to pay for rent, it's about $50 a month. It's about 20 working days in a month. Let's say they made $3 a day, times 20, that's 60. Rent is 50, they're left with 10. They still have kids, they gotta eat. It's tough. But this woman, Susan, saw this boy with no shoes. And he was constantly getting picked on. Let me tell you how important shoes are in Africa. They have to walk sometimes 3 hours to school. And they go to there's no school buses there. There's barely roads there. So, what time do you guys have to be at school? 7:30, 8? So did they. So they gotta wake up at 4, pack for the day, walk 3 hours, go to school all day, pack up their stuff again, walk home. And they wear school uniforms and they only have one outfit. So now they get home at 7, 8 o'clock, they gotta do their homework, wash their clothes, eat, go to sleep, do it all over again. And they're happy to do it. Because one of the things we don't realize of living in this country is how much opportunity we actually have. Education is guaranteed for you guys. It's not there. So they don't even complain. They don't even know what a school bus is. The only reason they know what planes are in some of these places is because they see them fly over all the time. A lot of African children want to be pilots. They don't even know what a plane is really. It's like, what is that? I had a drone and I was flying it. We went to like this goat market where you go and buy your goat for milk and things like that. They thought it was like the apocalypse. They thought it was the end of the world when they saw this drone because it just sounded like this giant bumblebee and they got so scared. So reality is very much different. But this woman, Susan, did an amazing act. You know, they see that you're coming back.
I came today specifically to sit down and talk for a few minutes about something that you did when I was here last that touched me very much and has touched many people.
All this. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
You remember those?
Look at this. Oh Jesus.
Oh Jesus.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
You show up with shoes,
right?
And she goes, "You've been carrying around those shoes the whole time." Susan was just, she was speechless. You know, for us it probably felt like 30 seconds. It was probably 5.
Then we threw it here. I remember you found it here.
That's right. I went into the garbage there and I picked it out because I said, these shoes tell a story.
You saw him missing. Oh my God. This just made me cry when I saw him going with these shoes to school. I almost cried, asking myself, why do many people have many things, then the others have nothing? This one.
Do you remember what you said? You said to me, Susan, which touched me, you said, I did not want that boy to lose hope.
Yeah, and all hope. I prayed for him.
What was it that you did that day that touched me so much? And remember, it was market day. I came. And what did you do for that boy?
That boy, I gave him shoes.
You gave him shoes?
Yeah. I didn't bought them, but I gave him because I know even if you have nothing, there is something. Even if it's some love, you can have something for him to give somebody. No child in the world should be wearing these shoes.
No child in the world. Unacceptable, isn't it? You also told me that children were making fun of him. Well, it certainly was unacceptable to me and is. And I'm proud of you that it was unacceptable to you and that you are making a difference.
I can say God is good. And all the time He's always good.
So I just think Susan's an amazing woman because she also has nothing. But you can always spread hope. Okay, so that's the mind. Get your mind in order, the body follows. Get your mind in order. What does this say? The way you treat your body is the way you feel about yourself. The reason I put that is because there was a guy, when I told you, there's a big difference, okay? Go back up here. This is uncomfortable for me, just so you guys know. This guy, miserable. This guy, much happier. Not because of how I look, but because of the things that I needed to change in order to feel better, which was a byproduct. Looking better was a byproduct of feeling better. About fueling my body versus filling it. Okay, it's like, that was a game changer when I heard that. Because what you put into your body produces your body. You guys understand that? The things that you put in your mouth, your body goes to work on it, and it makes cells out of the things to put into your body. Like to make new skin. You know you have like new skin like every week? It's brand new. So do you want your body to make skin out of fruits and vegetables or McDonald's? Somebody say McDonald's. Good luck with that. I gotta get rid of that picture. So just real quick, I have 30 minutes left, 20 minutes left? I'm good, right, on time? Okay. I have 45 minutes. All right, I was rushing, let me slow down. I know, and you know, I come here, I don't even know exactly what I'm gonna say. I gotta talk for another 45 minutes, I have no idea what I'm gonna say. So I didn't do anything wrong, but I had a run-in with the police like 15 years ago. So this is the story. I didn't do anything wrong, but listen. I was doing this job where I was knocking on door to door to sell magazines. And I had recently lost my driver's license. And I was in Florida or Georgia at the time. So this woman lets me into her house because she wanted to order some magazines. This is like pre-internet. No, it seems crazy. There's a life before the internet. I'm sitting in her living room, and the 5 o'clock news is on. And these news reporters start talking about a missing person. They put the picture of the missing person up, and I kid you not, that person looked exactly like me. Like, even I thought it was me. Like, I thought I was missing it. I didn't know it. So I see her, she sees the TV, and I see her face, and I go, I promise you, that is not me. Like, I'm good. She goes, yeah, no problem. I just got to use the bathroom. She called the cops. All of a sudden, I hear a knock on the door, the cops show up. So I sat in the back of the cop car for 3 hours trying to prove who I was. It was interesting. I was thinking about this morning because that before and after picture for me, it really means a lot. This guy, I know you've seen it, but that person on this side, he's one of the most important people in my life. Because there was a time when I didn't understand who I was. That story about having to prove my identity to police is an interesting parallel for what was going on with me at that time. I wasn't sure who I was. What was I doing with my life? What was my purpose? What was my meaning? Things like that. And then, over time, I started to figure it out, piece by piece by piece by piece, and that's where I am today. Last year, I made this music video. Because I'm going to talk about comfort zone in a second, why it's important to stretch outside of your comfort zone. But I decided with my friend to make a rap video. And I got permission to show this to you because it's like borderline. So the song is called, can you guys handle this? When I told you I started doing stand-up comedy, I've only been doing stand-up for like 2 years. So in 2017, I themed my year. And I called it my F it year. Meaning, anything that I was afraid to do, I was going to make sure I did it in that year. So, but also I'm a health coach, right? So F and then IT also means fit. So it was my fit year. Like I got into really, really incredible shape. So I made this video with this chiropractor, and I'm gonna show you guys. Feel free to make fun of me as much as you want. This is my attempt at being a rapper.
Got my man JC right here. JC's right here. It's our effort year. Our effort year. JC's right here.
Hey y'all, this is your brother JC in the place to be. Cause I woke up in 2003, coming strong with some brisk intentions. Spitting what's the risk inventions. Cause I'm living on borrowed time. It's my time to shine and be here. Yo, it's my effort year. Effort year. My boy Jeff's right here. It's my effort year.
What would happen if I took a chance today? Cause I know a shift would happen tomorrow. What would happen if I chose to experience joy? Then what would happen to my sorrow? This choice happens every day, and one smart choice leads to the next. The key is consistency of our actions, which eventually lead to our best.
Since the day I was born, I was torn, but now I'm reborn as a unicorn. Made sense to get off the fence, reach the sky, helping others fly. Checking my ego makes me blind sometimes. Can't rewind, choose to be right versus kind.
Yesterday is always in the past. We can look back, analyzing this, but today is here. Today is now, and if I choose health, what really is the risk? I'm gonna check in when others check out. It's not to show off, it's to show you. The outcome is my focus, but it's not the destination, and the goal is not what I will become, but who.
And I just heard these like dope ass beats just like pounding in my brain.
He shared this beat with me, and I was like, yo, this is a good beat, but what's going through your mind?
You know, what else are we gonna do? We had to lay this track down.
And then he told me. It just made sense.
You never know what's gonna happen when you lay a track down, because we were just like, F it.
And then we were like, what are we gonna do?
And he was like,
F it.
And it just went boom in Japan.
Yo, it's my effort year. Effort year. Got Jeff right here. It's our effort year. Yo, it's my effort year. Effort year. Got Jeff right here. It's our effort year.
2008 started it all for me. Love coming from above, eventually dazed and confused no longer. Now every day we get stronger. Used to care what other people think, not living my life for me. How can I go on living and worrying? Is this how my life was meant to be? You only live once, you heard that, right? But there's a lot of days to life, right?
I'm caring more before I'm sharing more. Asking folks to sing about their thing. Be interested, not interesting. Running from trouble back in the day. Embracing the obstacles as the way. Suckers be playing the victim in life, wasting time. Reclaim control, play above the line. Yo, I'm out of pain, thanks to Wayne. Making money gel, blessed by Dan Bell.
We live a life and walk the journey. 2018, what's gonna be your story?
Yo, 2017, Jeff, see ya!
One of the lines that I said in there, let me try to think. The outcome is my focus, but it's not the destination. And the point is not what I will become, but who. Do you understand that? So sometimes you like write a lyric and you're like, yeah, this is profound, and then you sing it and you're like, that was stupid. But the outcome is my focus, meaning Good For You Productions, Natalie and I, we want to impact the world. The outcome is the focus, for sure. We want to make an impact. But who Natalie and I become in the process of doing that is more important than whatever video that we make. It's not the destination. One of the greatest goals to have in life is the goal that never stops, the goal that you can't reach. So when I talk about being, like I gotta start calling myself a stepdad because me and my girlfriend are gonna get engaged soon and we'll be married next year. It's crazy. But when I talk about her kids, the goal is to be a very good role model, to lead by example. There's no days off in that. I don't know. Do I want to tell this story? I don't want to tell this story. I'll think about it. Okay, we're going to talk about the soul. So, I'm not here to talk about religion, but I do want to say this. There's like this expression or line. If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. I don't care what you believe in, just believe in something. And be able to defend that, or at least talk about it. Believe in whatever you want, but at least believe in something. The secret to your existence is right in front of you. It manifests itself as all those things you know you should do, but are avoiding. I believe that your soul has a purpose and that it wants to fulfill something. Your soul wants to experience magic. What is this yearning that we have for it to do things that are better or to go beyond where we've been before? What is that? Why do most of us have that? In some way. We all want to make our life bigger in some way. In some way. It's different for everybody. But a lot of times when you have a problem in your life, so this is a good time to talk about bullies, I think. Because I have a different perspective on bullying than I think most. And I'm sorry, but like there's situations where I still get bullied in life. It just looks different. Sounds different. But it's still bullying. What I'm trying to say is it's not going to go away. But here's the thing. Here's what I want you to understand. Because I've been on both sides. I've been a bullier, and I've also been bullied. Like my last name's Cobelli. I didn't even smell. People used to call me Smelly Cobelli. Right, because it's just like funny, phonetically. Like, not true. It's not true, I promise. But on both sides, the person has low self-esteem in some area. So if you are a bullier, you have low self-esteem. There's no reason why you need to make fun of somebody else to feel better about yourself if your self-esteem is where it should be. When you allow yourself to get bullied, you also have low self-esteem because something inside of you is telling me, like, I'm not good enough to speak up against this. So maybe be that person for somebody else, but understand that everybody in here started out their day someplace else, right? And there was your life, your reality at that moment is different, but everybody's battling something. Everybody. No matter how good somebody's life looks, how bad it looks, we all have our own battles inside, and then we take them out into the world, and now you integrate with other people, and it gets messy. So, compassion is big. You know, I don't know where you guys are at right now with bullying in this school. Stand up for somebody who's getting bullied. Work, if you are a bullier. How many bullies are in this audience? Show of hands, how many bullies are here? That's a lie. That's a lie. Okay, so let's talk real quick. Because I said the soul wants to experience magic, right? Magic doesn't happen inside the comfort zone. So comfort zone, there's a Skittle on the floor. Your comfort zone are things like watching Netflix for 5 hours, playing Fortnite for 7 hours, the comfort zone is the thing that's comfortable and it feels okay at the time, but it doesn't really further your life. So, some of you will experience this when you get older. So this is when I'll tell this story. When you're, something else that we were talking about this morning on the drive here. When you get into a relationship with somebody. Are you guys still doing cooties? Are we over that? Do we have girlfriends and boyfriends and relationships? Are we okay with that yet? Steven, my stepson, he came home and he said he got the cootie shot. But he said his friend gave it to him. So we told him, we were like, that vaccination doesn't work. You have to get it from your mom. So his mom gave him the cootie shot. It's a cute moment. It's fun. It's fun seeing those things. But what happens, it'll happen to you. And hopefully you'll remember this, and if you don't, you'll learn it the hard way, just like I did, and I'm sure other people in this room. When you're in a relationship and it's not that great, sometimes you get really comfortable with it. But you get afraid to leave that because that's your comfort zone. You know what that's like. You know, I was in a relationship where, all right, so this is a story I want to tell, okay? I was going to marry somebody before. I was with her she was my high school sweetheart. I was with her for 11 years. 11 years. Aren't you guys like 11 years old? I'm kidding. That's a lifetime. So, I was 25. And, you know, I guess I was brought up to, it's funny, my dad thinks he's Italian, but he just did that DNA test and found out he's Greek. Total culture shock. But he raised me to, he always said, listen, if you're going to marry a girl, just in Italian culture, it's important for you to ask the girl's parents for permission. I don't think that's true anymore. Like, actually, recently I had to ask the kids for permission this time, so it was like totally different, because I told you I'm getting married. So the dad looked at me and said, I asked him for permission to marry his daughter, and he said no. Yeah. That felt good. I asked, like, why not? We got into a conversation about it. So he asked me how much money I was going to spend on the ring. And I just started this company. I had $3,000 in my bank account. So I said, I'm going to spend $3,000. And he said, if you spend $3,000, you're going to need a microscope to see the diamond. Now, I stayed with that girl for another 2 years after that conversation. Why? Because life was scary outside of my comfort zone. I knew every day I had somebody to talk to, somebody was going to be there for me in some ways. You know, I just knew what those days were going to be like, and I was okay with that. Because one of the things your brain cannot quantify is what it will gain when you take a chance. Your brain, like jumping out of a plane, if you guys ever go skydiving, before you jump out, all your brain is going to think about is everything that can go wrong. It's not going to think about what's going to go right. So that's what I thought about. When I wanted to get out of this relationship, my comfort zone, I thought about all the things that could go wrong. What are people going to think about me? It was silly. But I wanted the magic. So I'm now with the woman of my dreams. Like that, I could not, if you stay in your comfort zone, you're not going to get the things that you really want. So that's my spiel on comfort zone. All right, purpose. It takes a long time to find out your purpose. I'm going to play this video and then I'm going to see, because I don't know what I'm going to say about purpose. But I want you to see this video because this is another story in Africa. Maggie, who you'll see in this video, she was 16 or 17 at the time, and she just brought like 4 soccer balls to Kenya and gave it to a school. They were just like sitting in her garage, not a big deal. But the reaction she got and the impact that she had was amazing. So she talks about comfort zone a little bit here and purpose. So I'm going to let her tell her story and then figure out what I'm going to say to you guys. But this is Maggie and Pete, who is her dad, in Kenya. I saw it happening in the moment. So I grabbed your dad and I said, Maggie's about to have the moment of a lifetime. You gave soccer balls at a school.
Yeah.
And you thought it was a little thing, and it was a bit overwhelming. Was it not?
Yeah, a little bit. Basically, I asked a bunch of my friends on my soccer team if they'd want to give balls to the kids we met here. We gave them 4, and right when we walked in, they all started clapping. It was just super cool to see, like, at home I had 5 soccer balls sitting in my house, just like not even being used.
We're so fortunate, you know. Jeffrey, you and I are so fortunate. I mean, there have been hard times in my life, but nothing like these guys have on a daily basis. So what did I see there? There's this thing, you can see it in American children, and it gets beat out by the time they're about in 4th grade. But these guys, their eyes are alight. They're shining with hope. You can see that. In this dirt floor, open truss, mud brick schoolroom with broken blackboards, and you know these guys don't have shoes on. Their uniforms are there, but they're tattered. When a soccer ball's a month's wages here, that really kind of helps you get in perspective how fortunate we are, and how the smallest gesture is appreciated here. And it makes me so glad for her to see that. It makes me so glad to be a part of it. You know, I was proud of her, proud of the size of her heart, proud that as an 18-year-old, she just gets it.
I know one of my teachers said life begins at the end of your comfort zone, and I'd say my life has begun right here, man.
I think it's a lesson for all of us that we can give from our abundance. That just comes back. It serves us a million ways, but it changed the lives of, man, 50 or 100 little African children that would never have a chance to do that otherwise. And it pulls it at your heart, and it makes you glad to be a part of this. Makes you really glad.
One day, you're going to have the opportunity to do exactly what Maggie is doing and Dr. Pete is doing for other children. Don't forget how important this is.
Every day we've got the opportunity to be something like that for another, whether it's in Manhattan, whether it's in Alexandria, whether it's on the freeway, you know, letting the guy into traffic. We have an opportunity to be the better half of what God created, you know.
Soccer is just so amazing because it breaks through all language barriers. Like, there's a language of soccer itself. And soccer's just so important to me, so that was so awesome to be able to share that with those kids.
You think that'll ever happen again in your life, Maggie?
Probably not.
Yeah, that one's always a good one. One of the thoughts I didn't finish before was, I guess it's like the soul's journey, meaning, I don't know if I started to say this to you guys or I said it in my head. If you have the same problem in your life showing up over and over and over and over again, you're saying, why does this always happen to me? It's probably not life. It's actually the thing that you need to address. All right, so that will be in your life until you address that. That's why I was talking about value, self-worth, things like that. Value yourself today so that you don't have to address that when you're 36. You want to get that out of there. That's not something you want to work on. Always do the things you're afraid to do. Wonder why that's important. You think anything great was ever accomplished by being in your comfort zone? It's kind of scary. You know, I think, you have to fact check me on this, but I think John F. Kennedy, when he was president, said, we're going to go to the moon. And NASA was like, what? What are we going to do? We don't know how to do that yet. And he said, we're going to go to the moon like in 2 years. He put a time limit on it. They had no idea how to do it. Out of your comfort zone, something very fierce, something very great. You're not always going to be ready for the things in front of your life. Like this morning, I convinced myself, I've just been through this a lot, but when I do these talks, on my way there, I'm hoping something happens. Meaning, I hope my car breaks down. I hope it's too cold. I hope they cancel it. Because I get terrified of coming here to do this. There's like 300 of you in here. I don't know what you guys are saying about me. Some of you are talking a little too much, and that's okay. But maybe you're making fun of me. I don't know. But then I'm up here trying to think of what to say next. It's scary being up here. They say like public speaking is like number 1 or number 2 fear. Like people are more afraid about that than anything else. But for me, it's important that I do this. So I'm going to play a video. I'm going to go from me talking up here. I'm going to play a video of me talking there, which I just realized might be weird for you guys. I forget what I say in this, but let's find out. I play baseball now, but I used to play football. And I was a quarterback. And I was a quarterback of my team from whenever I could start playing football. I might have been 5 or 6 years old to about 11 years old. And I go to practice that year, and I'm really excited because my team was always good. And I go to practice, the first day of practice of that year, and my coach pulls me aside, and he says, Jeff, my name is Jeff, by the way, first name. My name is Jeff. And he pulls me aside, and I think I'm going to get a pep talk about, you know, all the great things we're going to do this year. And he told me that I wasn't going to be quarterback that year. So my reaction was like, why not? And he said, because you're too fat. So back to fantasy and reality. What was my fantasy in that scene? Go ahead.
That you wish you would have.
Wish I would have been quarterback. What was reality? That I was not going to be it. Yeah. So what was in between? Out of my mind, right? But what ended up happening as a benefit of that, because that at the time really stressed me out. Like when I went to school following that, like immediately following, I wasn't walking around happy and chipper. I felt like life was over. Like I knew myself as a quarterback and that just got taken away from me. The benefit of that was that I got to spend more time playing baseball. And I became really good at that. And I ended up becoming a really good baseball player. I'll take it a step further. And I'll bring it more recent. And these stories will get heavier and heavier, so I apologize. Because I have not, like not everything has been roses and peaches in my life either. Like understand that we all have stresses, no matter how good somebody's life looks. Even your teachers. Do you guys still get stressed out sometimes? Oh. See, look at
Every day.
So another story, I dated a girl for 11 years, and I wanted to marry her. And just so you boys know, when you get older, when you want to marry a girl, you go to the parents' house, and you ask the father for his blessing, because he has to give her away. So I went up to him, and I said, you know, give him the whole spiel, I want to marry your daughter, I love her so much. Guess what he said to me? No. He said no. And I didn't. That was 3 years ago. But what was my fantasy in that scene when I went to go talk to him? What did I wish had happened?
He was going to say yes.
And what did he say?
No.
Stress. Again, the benefit sounds like a horrible story. The benefit was months and years, this happened 3 years ago, so months and years leading up to after that, I ended up meeting new people in my life. I still don't have a girlfriend, but that's another story. But I made so many friends and I got to travel more. At the same time that I was hurt, that I was losing somebody, I was also set free at the same time, which meant that I could do whatever it is that I wanted to do. I didn't have somebody that I was with for a long time where I said, is this okay? Can I go here? I didn't have that anymore. So in seeing both sides, nothing really wrong ever happened. That was supposed to happen at that moment, and it served me and made me a better person. There was one of my clients, his name is Dr. Nima. He talks about stress, right? So you heard me say that. So fantasy box, how you wish things would be. Reality box, how things actually are. If those things are really far away from each other, that causes stress. The trick with that is you can change your perception if you want to. So sometimes your stress is not from reality, but it's the way that you're looking at it. You need to see a therapist to go farther than that, but that's like, that's an overview of what that means. All right, I think I'm getting close to the end. Okay, so who are you? After all of that, you know, when you leave today, I want you to think about who you are. That's what I want you to get out of this, if there's anything. Okay, some quick tips. I got like 10 minutes left, I think, about that, something like that. All right, so these are just like, when I look over things that I've written down, that I've read, that I've said, this in a nutshell, for me, is, again, defining success. These things are very important to me, okay? One of the most important things is the one on the bottom. It's my mom's birthday today. Like I've already told her how much I love her this morning. I'm gonna tell her again. I'm gonna cook dinner for her on Sunday. Like I'm gonna make it a point. Especially because I've had like a new perception on what it means to be a parent. I don't have kids, but I told you I'm in this new situation. One of the things I never thought that I would experience was I understood what it really took for my mom to raise me. Like I didn't realize how hard it was. It's tough to raise children. It's tough to be up there. But so that appreciation is a gift that those children that have given me, and they don't even know that yet. All right, so just to go through this real quick. To make your bed before you leave the house. I stole this from, there's this general, he was talking at some graduation of cadets. Basically, the point of that is your day could be terrible. But when you come home, you will always come home to a made bed. At least you have that. So at least give yourself that little victory. And maybe it's not the bed in your life. Maybe it's something else. But have something in your room where you come home to that's in order, and you're like, at least I have that. Today is still a win. Because you're going to have terrible days where nothing goes right. You're going to have days when somebody tells you, you can't do this. You're too fat. You're too stupid. You don't have enough money. What would my life have been like if I listened to other people's opinions about me? It would have been much different. Back to cleanliness. Cluttered room is a cluttered mind. My favorite thing, so I love my car, I love my apartment, love my studio, my office. When those things are in order and clean, I feel like my life is the same way. It's a reflection. So if you're one of those people who like, you have all your notes like crumpled up, stuffed in your bag all over the place, I don't know. It's gonna be tough to organize that stuff. Sleeping, you guys, for you that's not as important, but just get into a routine. Go to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time. That'll pay off for you down the road. Some of the stuff we've already talked about. I actually wanted to take the last, you guys can read that. I don't want to talk about that. With this remaining time, and if you don't have any questions, then I'll do something else. But does anybody have any, is anybody going to be brave enough to ask me a question? Blue hoodie.
What's your YouTube channel?
So, my YouTube channel. All right, yes. I'm going to have 47 subscribers after this. So, that's my name, Jeffrey Cobelli. If you just put that into YouTube, where are you? I lost you. If you just put that into YouTube, you'll find me. I just started doing a podcast. I'm on episode 4. I have another interview tomorrow. So I stream stuff live on YouTube, and then I record it, and I put it on iTunes afterwards. So you can check me out there. Thank you. I didn't have to just plug it myself. I saw your hand up back there. Yes? Time for Pee-Pee is still on YouTube. Yeah. You can find it somewhere. I think that's under a different name. But I'm pretty transparent about my life, and like you can find some older music videos. Parental discretion is advised. Because I did this one video and the FBI came to my office. That also happened. Settle, hold on. Yes, green hoodie. Where's your sweatshirt? Yeah. So again, so take my, this is if you can analyze that in your life, right? So I was bringing that up to 4th graders when I was talking about my proposal. So in my situation, my fantasy was I was going to go to the parents' house, and they were going to be like, yes, we love you. Marry our daughter. Here's the magic carpet. And it was going to be like Aladdin, and I was going to fly away. I can show you the world. Reality was they said no. My reality at that time was they were like, not allowed. In between that fantasy of my magic carpet ride and a no was my stress. So I could not change the reality, or I would have needed to try to, but I could have changed my fantasy. And maybe my fantasy wasn't really what I wanted anyway. So that's the idea of that, okay? Right there. So I'll get over there, yeah. The greatest what? Oh yeah. No, that's a great question. So this question is, what is my biggest regret? Here's the thing about life, and this is something that definitely it takes time to get to this point. Okay. If you change anything in your life, whether good or bad, the outcome will also be different. So even if I change something bad that happened to me or something that I did, my life would have ultimately been different. So I don't have any regrets, even the worst thing that I did. I actually don't have any guilt. That's going to seem crazy. I have no guilt. I believe, my personal belief, that guilt is a useless emotion. The energy you spend on guilt and regret does nothing for you. It doesn't benefit your life. So I actually don't have any regrets. Even the bad stuff put me in a place. Like there's bad stuff that happened in my life or things that I did. Thank God that I did those things. It redirected me. I think I only have... I'll keep on taking questions until you tell me to stop, okay? Yes, up there. Yeah. He asked me if I was wearing AirPods. I was, because JC and I was the other guy in that video, Dr. JC. We had to listen to the song that we recorded so we could sync it up later. So that's what we did. All right, I'm going to go to this side. Yes, to the people who have been talking my whole presentation. Oh, called you out. Blue hoodie. All right, you don't have a hoodie. I'm sorry, just the blue.
Yeah, what did you say when the dad said you can't marry my daughter?
So that turned into a conversation where I said... I feel so silly now. It's such a silly, I can't believe that happened to me. We started talking about, I was trying to convince him. So I started sweating, first of all. My heart started beating. And I said something along the lines like, the value of the ring doesn't value the love that I have for your daughter. And he just laughed. And he was basically like, dude, you're in the wrong conversation. Whatever you think matters is not what matters to me. So he said to me, come back in 2 years when you've saved more money. They wanted me to get specifically a $20,000 ring from their cousin in the Bronx. Like, it was very planned out. So in my life, what I started thinking, see, this is what I mean, but I'm like an open book. I'll talk about anything. I started thinking about the rest of my future. What else does this mean? If they tell me and instruct me what to do in this situation, what's next? They're going to tell me where to live, what car to buy, that whole thing. Right there, yeah. Oh, no. I didn't even think about that. I got to put that on iTunes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I don't know what's the matter with me. The vest. White vest? Are you wearing a vest? Okay, go ahead. The FBI came to my... So she asked me why the FBI came to my office. I did a rap video. I can't talk about too much of this specifically. So I did a rap video, and this is when I first started out, right? So I was taking any job because, again, I didn't value myself. So a rapper in Brooklyn, in a place called Gowanus Projects, hired me for $400, which may sound like a lot of money to you guys, but $400 doesn't get you far, to make this music video. The music video was about nothing legal, I'll say, just put it that way. So the FBI was investigating this guy, and there were things in the video that they needed to know if they were real or not. So I went down to Brooklyn to speak to 5 lawyers, 3 FBI agents, and a detective about my artistic choices about this rap video. That's basically it, yeah. What was that?
What is it called?
You'll have to find it. I'm not going to tell you that.
What's the name of the rapper?
Oh, I'll tell you that. The name of the rapper was, I say was because I think he died. No. This is what happened. This is what happened. I should talk about this more. This is always fascinating to people. His name was Rod Diggs. So Rod Diggs. But this is what happened. This is why you have to be careful. No matter, listen, anything. I put some like silly stuff out on YouTube with like a dog going pee-pee, right? That's silly, but it's not gonna put me in jail for life. Do you understand? This guy was documenting things. So the FBI was doing an investigation. He was guilty. So he's in jail for life. I say I think he might be dead, because I don't know if he made it. Oh no, jail's not fun. So I hear. Yes, white long sleeve. I'm very fortunate, and this is probably the last thing that I'll share. When I started out, this is very, very coincidental and strange. When I started out my company, Good For You Productions, it was May, it'll be 10 years that I've had the company. I formed the company, because you have to like register it with the government when you make a company. May 5th, 2009, I formed the company. May 9th, 2009, this girl, I was just talking about this yesterday. This girl, Melissa, her name is Melissa Averin, had passed away at the age of 19 from complications of an eating disorder. The reason why I tell you that is because 2 months after that, so May 5th, company formed, May 9th, she passes away. 2 months later, her mother hires me to make a documentary about her. That documentary is called Someday Melissa. Without that project, this company would have never got started. It's hard to like start a business, and I like walked into something, it was terrible, but it was also amazing at the same time. So I was just graduating from college, doing these rap videos, FBI is knocking on my door, but also this lady is like, hey, can you make a documentary on my daughter? This girl died. I went to Emerson College in Boston, film school, very expensive. I tell you, don't go to film school. Teachers are gonna hate me. Melissa got accepted into Emerson College 2 days before she died. When I had told the mom that, she had just said, you're hired. She goes, there's too much coincidence here. And we spent the next 2 years making that movie. We put it into film festivals. It actually got bought by the National Eating Disorder Association. They use it in colleges and things like that. So it's actually been an instructional and informational tool to help out anybody who's dealing with depression and eating disorders and things like that. That's 10 years ago. That's still probably I'm most proud of that project. You know, one of the things that we do is we don't tell people, like some of this thing, I'm giving you guys advice, but our videos don't tell people what to do. We just hope to create awareness on something and let the smarter people figure it out. But I think, should I be done? So, guys, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. I want to be over 50 by the end of the day.